The Uruguay Round was an agreement signed in 1994 by 117 nations to lower trade barriers worldwide. It reduced tariffs by one-third. Patents and trademarks are protected for about 20 years. Computer programs are protected for 50 years. France, however, still limits the number of U.S. movies and TV shows. It's easier to admit accounting and legal services into foreign markets now because of the Uruguay Round. Europe will lower subsidies, allowing in more U.S. wheat and corn. Japan and Korea will import more rice, and the United States will allow in more sugar, citrus fruits, and peanuts. The U.S. will also reduce quotas on clothing, meaning job losses for U.S. citizens, but savings in selection and apparel for residents here. The World Trade Organization provides lower trade barriers among member nations and also helps resolve trade disputes between countries. The World Trade Organization replaced GATT, the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, and has dramatically lowered trade barriers worldwide. 135 members comply with the rules of free trade. It has been the most powerful force to open up world markets. Countries that don't belong have to negotiate with individual countries on their own. Example, the World Trade Organization handled the case between Japan's Fujifilm and the United States Kodak. When the U.S. felt Japan's government was helping Fuji unfairly, the World Trade Organization negotiated the argument. Disputes have a wide range from barriers to government intervention in helping companies compete to produce product standards. Here's a list of 10 benefits of the World Trade Organization. They help promote peace. They handle disputes constructively. Its rules increase efficiency. They also make functioning easier. Free trade cuts costs of living for countries. It permits more choice of products. Trade raises income. Trade stimulates economic growth for all countries. It shields governments from lobbying and encourages good government. The World Bank makes loans to developing nations to help them build their infrastructure so that they can pursue building businesses on their own. The International Monetary Fund makes loans to member nations that cannot meet their budgetary expenses. In the 1990s, it helped out Thailand, South Korea, and Malaysia with money, but with no success. What oftentimes happens is poor economic decisions are made. Countries, if they know that they can get this money from the IMF, take huge risks because they don't feel that it's their money, or they feel like they don't have to pay it back, and so they oftentimes make very bad decisions. There are a few international economic communities. NAFTA and the European Union are two of them. NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement, was created in 1993, and it created a free trade zone for Canada, Mexico, and the United States. The European Union is an organization of 15 European countries that foster political and economic integration. The Eurodollar is a new currency that distributes basically the same money within 11 countries. Countries join economic communities in order to reduce trade barriers with other countries. This makes it easier to trade goods and services. NAFTA is the largest free trade zone. Mostly NAFTA opened up trade in Mexico since Canada and the United States were already big trading partners. The hope was to raise the Mexican standard of living, wages, and their ability to buy more goods from Canada and the United States. The fear in the United States is losing more jobs to Mexico. So Congress has stopped the expansion of NAFTA to pull in more countries. The European Union was formed by the Maastricht Treaty in 1993 to integrate Europe economically and also politically. It was meant to create new jobs, lower prices on goods between countries, increase movement of citizens through borders, standardize products, and combine foreign policy, security, and defense. For a few years, the topic of debate would be whether or not the United Europe would become a United States of Europe. It has over 30 million people after all, and a lot of businesses in the United States was worried over its economic power. But a lot of skeptics say that because Europe has 9 different languages, very different cultures between countries, and very different product preferences, that it will not become a United States of Europe. Do you think that there's the fear that Europe will become more protectionist, meaning that Europe will want to keep out products not made by a European country? After all, they already have 8 car makers and 12 national airlines. They might want to keep out Japanese and United States car makers. So it's another interesting thing to think about. Do you think that the United States is already heavily entrenched in the European market? How so? Well, they do like to buy a lot of American products like Coca-Cola, Kellogg's, IBM and Dell Computers, General Electric, AT&T. Those products can be seen all over Europe.